the fans out of their seat. We want to score goals. We want to get them, momentum on our side. And then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball, we got to beat balls.
Hey, we're live. We are live. Good evening and welcome. Welcome to the Afterburn Soccer Show, FC Dallas Season Preview Edition. We want to hear from you. And in fact, we've already got our buddy Luke here at horse_god. One of the more intriguing usernames on the internet that I just love. I can't get enough of. As we get ready for our 2026 Major League Soccer season, FC Dallas taking the field this Saturday against Toronto FC. I'm Nathan. You can follow me at Afterburn Soccer over on Blue Sky on X. Of course, with me, good friends. Legend himself, Jose at El Chico Carmona, sporting the winter gear. The winter gear. Yeah.
Right. Well, I still can.
That's right. And rising journalist extraordinaire, Chris at wintas below. And then finally making his worldwide modeling debut. That's right, Colin Coovert at Mr. Coov. If you didn't catch him, Colin was featured prominently in the jersey reveal videos. And dude, Colin, quit.
Oh, wait. Sorry, Colin. You got a little smudge on your shirt.
Oh,
yeah, just
a little shade.
bottom right there.
Just a little. There you go.
A little shade to start the show off. But Colin, quit your day job. Modeling 24/7. It's in your blood. It's in your DNA. Go for it. All right. In fact, I think I have it. Here we go. There we got him there.
Let's go.
In that shot, and beautiful new kit. So let's just start the show with that, Colin. Thoughts on the new kit? Hoops are back, right?
Yes, sir. So the very first thing whenever we got there, after I signed my little NDA and everything, I was like, right before I signed it, I looked and I was like, let me take a quick little picture. Technically, it's before the NDA. If it gets leaked out, I get hacked for whatever reason, I'm not going to get in trouble. So I did that, signed my little NDA, all the whole 9 yards. I can technically talk about it now because it's expired. But first thing, me and Austin, who's in the videos there, we talked and we were like, hoops are back, and they're not like the 2021 kit where it was like very little prominent, very little hoops or whatever. But this one was fully back to like, I think I did like a kit ranker yesterday for Dallas kits, like 2011 instead of red and white, it's like red and blue. On the authentic jersey, what I like too is they added little accents. It looks like the Texas Star in the blue, and you see it in person. And then obviously the Lamar Hunt logo, and on the back, it has the breathability little like flaps in the back. So one big thing people complained about, and I complained about it too, being a bigger guy, Texas heat, it sucks, and Jersey sticks to you and everything. Those actually help out a lot. We were like bright lights and everything for some of the photo shoot and everything, and like a little like small little office style photo shoot part, which that should be, some of those shots might be released later. I have some of them, but they should be released later. And it was super hot, but my back like was super cool and everything. The jersey itself, it's beautiful. It's in my top 5 kits all time for FC Dallas, which is not hard recent history, but it's one of those things where it's super easy to overlook. But the hoops are back. I like that they called it a DNA kit, which follows our the DNA match dogs, or dogs on the road, stuff like that. So I like that the hoops are back for that, and it actually helps the whole not only social media push but also the team culture push as well. So it's really really nice to have those back.
They look nice. I'm not a big kit guy, you know. I appreciate the kits. I enjoy them. We're going to see a lot of them, but like, just the outpouring from fans to see the hoops return. I know it means something. I know it brings value to fans who have been following this team for a long time. So kudos to the FC Dallas organization, and to include fans like our buddy Colin making his modeling debut in the promotion of this new kit. Great stuff. You know, we have so much to get ahead to, but of course, opening kickoff this Saturday against Toronto FC. A chance for FC Dallas to start the season with some strong points. We'll get to predictions for that game at the end. We got some ground to cover. But first, let's start with two signings that were announced just in the past 3 or 4 days. First, FC Dallas acquired Joaquín Valiente from Defensor SC in Uruguay, an attacking midfielder, a potential number 10. Chris and I kind of tweeted back and forth about this. Small guy, 5'5", but dynamic. I saw one of his goals scored was a header on his highlights, which I thought, for a 5'5" guy, kudos, man. Good for you. Well scouted, though. The nice thing about this signing is that FC Dallas still has a DP slot open. So Valiente does not take up a DP spot, even though he's had some high quality competition and experience, but could be a sneaky good signing for this team. So, Jose, I don't know how much you've had time to like take in this signing, scout this guy a little bit. What are your initial thoughts about Valiente joining FC Dallas as a potential number 10 or a winger kind of role?
Well, I like the signing. I also don't like the signing, and the reason I don't like the signing is I was promised a DP10, and we're not getting a DP10. We're not even getting a TAM10, and it, to me, I may be in the minority. I probably am in the minority, but to me, this signals that Delgado is your 10, and this guy's been brought in to be his backup or to push him for the starting job. So you have to start wondering. And also, by the way, our midfield is hella crowded. We have way too many midfielders. So this signing, to me, signals some people are leaving. Maybe not at the beginning of the season, maybe by mid-season. And this is a precautionary signing in that case, in case we're probably not going to get, if we do get that DP10, it's not coming until summer. And that, honestly, that's what this signals to me, and that's my concern, is you bring this guy in to compete with Delgado for the 10 spot, to push Delgado, and you're signaling that, hey, we're not getting a DP10 till summer at best. So I think that's my take on that. I'm serious. We have way too many midfielders. I mean, your starter guys in the preseason have been Capes, Kaique, and Ramiro, and you still got Paxton, you still got Binyamin, you still got the new guy, not to mention all the young players. I mean, there's just not enough positions to have that many midfielders, and that's I'm getting carried away here, but that is my concern. It's twofold. One, we're not getting DP10, and two, we have too many midfielders, so his signing signals somebody's going. And that's, there you go. Not to cheer you up, but this it's a very Hunt thing to do. One last thing though before I just wanted to make an observation on the kit. And as a fan, I've always thought that the Hunts didn't really like the hoops, and I'm hoping that if the universe has any sense of humor, FC Dallas will win MLS Cup this year while wearing the hoops, and we'll never ever go away from that ever again.
All right,
there you go.
Okay, all right. Well, that's nice. And And I think your point about Valiente is welcome. I mean, he's obviously not a DP signing. The team did not think this guy is going to be an anchor for the team. And so when I first heard the signing, I thought this is that classic, what we used to call a Fernando Clavijo special. Rest in peace, Clavijo. A guy that is, kind of a small risk but potential high award kind of signing. Like if it strikes it out, it's great. If not, hey, we gave the guy a shot. Of course, he's not on loan. Valiente is signed a senior deal, but not DP level. So, but what turned me a little bit was just the FC Dallas Agenda podcast did a great interview with Leo Baldo about this guy, how they scouted him, what they wanted, what they were looking for. And the acknowledgement, this guy has played in the Champions League level of South America. So he's had to perform against some really good competition, and he's done well. He's hung in there. So that has opened me to the possibility this could be a really sneaky good signing that fits the FC Dallas profile. And yet, I hear you. And I hear you too, Jose. One of our concerns this preseason is that Paxton Pomykal, our beloved Paxton, he's supposed to be healthy, and he's still not getting on the field. Maybe the midfield is not as deep. Maybe there are some question marks there that we're waiting to see shake out. But our hope is Paxton gets back healthy. Everyone's hope is. But yeah, I mean, our buddy Luke here says, did we miss out on another 10 we wanted, or did we get this guy because we think he's good enough and we have greater needs for a DP elsewhere? I mean, that's our question. I mean, that's the question mark, whether, okay, we get this guy, we think he can be a number 10 for this team, and now we still have a DP slot that we can go out and be more flexible and find a defender, a midfielder, a striker. I mean, if Musa leaves, of course, you have another DP slot come open, but it does raise all that series of questions. And at the very least, in the interim, Valiente provides some competition in the short term. I don't know if anyone else has done any deep dive in this, guys. Chris, have you thought about this signing? And we've chatted a little bit about kind of the flexibility of it, which I like. I think kind of means it's a less risk. Even if he doesn't work out quite so much, it's not like we slotted him in at a DP slot, right?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think one thing we've seen a lot so far, and albeit it is preseason, but some of the formations we've run with the 3-5-2 have almost been kind of like a 10-less, maybe out of habit or just like out of being forced to the fact that we don't really have a solidified 10. But I think we've got a decent rotation in the midfield to where you can run almost like a double A, with a 6. You have Capis and, maybe this one King Valiente, a Kaique ran some of the 8, which was interesting, with Ramiro at 6. So there's a lot of interchangeable Swiss Army knife type players in the midfield, which I think is good. But to Jose's point, it does feel like it is kind of getting a little crowded, and you don't have your solidified, okay, this guy is this position. It seems like there's a lot of, and maybe it's good, but room for opportunity to take one of those starting spots. And, maybe Valiente is a guy that they like Delgado and he showed some promise last season. He's not it. Let's bring in a guy that might be of similar caliber, a little bit different play style. From what I saw from his highlights, he's a little bit more goal scoring. Whereas I felt like Delgado did a really good job about finding different passing lanes. So I don't know. It kind of gives us a lot of options. I still think, to Jose's point as well, again, you need that DP10. If not, you need to find it somewhere else. Going into the season, if we have one DP with Musa, and then kind of the inevitable thing that's going to happen is he's probably going to get sold. Hate to say it. And then we're now a DP less team. The only other team that's like that is Montreal. And so we're not at that level with Montreal. We're better than that. And most people in this league think that we're better than that. But, you can't win without a DP. Unfortunately, that's just how this league goes. So circle back to your point. I do think it was a good signing. Like we've said before, it's not super high risk. You don't bring in a DP, but there's still something there that we need. There's another piece that's just, it feels like might be missing. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but.
Yeah. No, I mean, the 3-2 that we've been seeing in the preseason, it's dependent upon Musa and Farrington, that partnership. And Farrington has had an incredible preseason. The guy is hungry, and there's a chance if he can get into double digits goal wise, it can be a really special season for FC Dallas. And Musa, I mean, it's just the wild card of Musa is if he starts strong, he gets in the World Cup squad for Croatia. Like, who knows? This guy could be sold for a lot of money, and FC Dallas is not going to turn that down. It's just reality. He could stick around. There's just so many variables in all of that kind of that conversation unfolding. So, but we still need that attacking-minded midfielder to sort of balance out that midfield trio. And Kappas has played as the number 10, and I know Steve Davis, who followed the team for years, has talked about he's made some good passes, but do we have that true number 10? And this feels like they identified a guy who could maybe fill that slot, but his price and his valuation weren't at that level. And so I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with making that call. We
Totally
all want
agree.
that superstar DP10, but those guys don't grow on trees. They don't just appear. They don't just spawn, in this international game. So you got to find them, you got to identify them, and you got to pay for them. So that number 10 could still be out there. He could emerge through the World Cup, or there could be some other need or some other player that emerges out of the World Cup that they'll have an opportunity to take a swing at. So it's just an interesting, and I think we're all like the same thing, like the Uruguayan soccer league. I don't think any of us are super familiar with the quality of play. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how he makes his claim to minutes on this team. Another signing that we can get to is Brooks Thompson, a third string goalkeeper now, our third string goalkeeper for FC Dallas, a loan piece from Lexington in USL League One. I mean, I like this signing just because I like the USL. I think there's not that I'm a huge soccer nerd of it all, but like I love the idea of Major League Soccer going out and saying, hey, let's pull up guys from League One, USL Championship, and let's give them an opportunity to show what they're capable of. So a depth piece, certainly, but he has plenty of starts. Chris, I mean, is this guy on your radar at all?
I mean, no, but I will say I like the signing too. I think it's a low risk, signing for a guy that has shown that he does have some of the attributes that you look for in a goalkeeper. Obviously, I think that position's pretty much wrapped up with Collodi, and I think Sarah as well was a great signing by FC Dallas. You have two guys that are going to battle for the starting spot, and you bring in a guy that he's young, he's had some experience, like you said, at USL. I love that as well. It doesn't hurt, you didn't spend a whole lot on it, and see if you can.
It's like a mid-season loan, right? Is that what I? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's no risk to it, but it might be completely wrong. I went to the Dallas game before it got rained out this past weekend, and I checked out North Texas right before, and I could have sworn I saw him wearing some North Texas gear, and I don't know if he was just there in case maybe something. So again, it might be completely off base. It might just be solely a FC Dallas guy, but as someone that follows North Texas, if he's not getting playing minutes with FC Dallas, I'd love to see him develop a little bit too at North Texas. So yeah, just throwing that out there.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think he did spend time with SKC too. So yeah, with the SKC Academy. Go ahead, Jose.
Well, I just wanted to make a correction, and he's a USL Championship player. Um, he comes in from the USL Championship.
Okay.
Most of his playing time has been MLS Next Pro and USL League One with Sporting 2, with Philadelphia Union 2, and then a couple of loans with North Carolina back when they were in USL League One, and then with Spokane last season. So this is basically Jackson. You went out and got a guy who's been a really good Division III goalkeeper who has the potential to, move up. But he's definitely, to me, when they did the signing, he's like, yes, he's your third keeper, and he sounds like your North Texas starting goalkeeper. I didn't know we need one, but apparently we did. So that's what I see when I see him. It's solid Division III player with potential to be a D1, and that's very FC Dallas thing to do.
I mean, the thing about him too, I mean, not that we know a lot, and I think Third Degree pointed out that he was at some of the team events, some of the promotional events, was that before being signed, but the guy has a number of starts under his belt, sure, at a lower level, but it's different from turning to a homegrown guy who maybe has only had a handful of starts with North Texas. But now we've got two backups now that have had a number of starts at the Major League Soccer level, lower levels. But, what a gift that is, I think, as FC Dallas builds this roster. And especially if they scout this guy and they like him, they like his attributes. And he could turn into something. I mean, none of us a year ago would have said, hey, in a year, Michael Collodi is going to be our starting goalkeeper. And that a guy like Matt Doyle is going to say, hey, Michael Collodi could be goalkeeper of the year in 2026. None of us would have had that in our bingo cards, right? So it's a reminder that there is talent in the academy. And I think that's important for us to remember as FC Dallas fans, because even though that talent doesn't always coalesce at the same time, it's there. It's there for them to develop if they give an opportunity to. So two big signings, too big. I mean, we got a third string goalkeeper, right? We're excited about him to see. I mean, he may never take the field, for FC Dallas, but Valiente, I think, is an intriguing guy that we will see at some point. Maybe not, maybe in a sub role this weekend, unless he's just that amazing. But we'll see. But let's get into the meat of our show. I see Colin is giving us his attention now. Yeah, season preview time. It's time to opening match day this Saturday. FC Dallas starts with 3 home matches, a good chance to pick up points, and a pretty reasonable away stretch. To pick up points to start the season really well. But let's think about where FC Dallas is going to end up in the MLS Western Conference. Of course, from first place to 15th place come the end of the season. We did a little Google Doc, so I've got a few answers there. Jose, don't see your answer yet, but that's okay. We're going to do it now. So
I'm just going to wing it.
You're going to wing it. All right.
How do I do
I
it?
got Coov at 7th. I put 6th. Chris went 6th. How you feeling, Jose? At the end of the year, where is FC Dallas landing?
At the end of the year? Well, at the end of the year, if we're talking end of the year, I'm going to go 3. If you want to talk what they're at right now, I will tell you right now, they're exactly where they were at the end of last year. They're probably the 7th best team in the Western Conference as we speak right now, while missing a DP. They're still the same team. All they did was solidify what they do, or go out and get players to solidify. So this team, and I'll tell you why they're going to finish so high, and it's twofold. One, this team's going to be ahead of other teams right out the gate. Something we're not used to seeing. They're going to be playing against teams that are still trying to figure out where they are. I mean, Toronto's a perfect example. Toronto has no clue what they got. They think they got a good team, but they still got to gel. FC Dallas doesn't have to do any of that. They can come in and be who they were last year, right off the bat, conditioning is the only question really that this team has to face right now. Relatively injury free, and huge upside on this team. Massive upside. There are
Okay.
only 3 players on this roster that are over the age of 30. Just 3. Everybody else is either in their prime or in
Name
their
those
you know,
3, Jose. Who are we talking about?
it's Ibeaga, Ramiro, and Abubakar. So, and then you've got everybody else is in their prime. You're talking about, in their prime, you're talking about Julio, you're talking about the guy we just signed, the left wing back, Johansson. He's in his prime. Who else am I thinking about? That's like 29. I can't think right now, but there's and you're talking about in their late prime. There's only 2 guys that are at 29. Everybody else is either 28, 26, and the bulk of our team is going to be around the age of 24. I mean, look at the guys that are going to be key performers. Farrington. You're talking about Kamungo. You're talking about Kaike. You're talking about Nolan. And that's just the ones that will probably be starting. I'm not even talking about the guys that'll be coming off the bench. This team is loaded with players with huge upside, and honestly, this team's upside, that's what I'm picking. I'm picking that this team will come out hot, and the team will improve as the season goes. And maybe they won't be the 3rd place team at half season, but by the end of the season, I think they'll be a top 3 squad, and that's just me.
So who would be above them if they're top 3? You're thinking like LAFC, San Diego.
Yeah, LAFC for sure, San Diego. There's several other teams that can be above them. I'm just saying when all the chips settle and everything falls into place, I think FC Dallas has really,
Okay.
a solid team. They won't have the best 11. They're going to lose to teams that have great 11s. But with their number of players they got that can come in, the youth improvement, I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to say, "Hey, this is a 10th place, 11th place team. They're not, they can't possess. They only have 1 DP, and there's going to be some teams that are going to seriously underestimate this squad. And this squad is going to be, I mean, Quill had a full half season last year just trying to figure out what he had.
Yeah.
So that's not something you're dealing with this year. This year, you're going to have an actual vision of what you're trying to do, and you're going to have the players that you want. Yes, it's not an incomplete product. It's not a complete product, but I'm telling you right now, this team's probably the 7th best team in the NFC West. In the NFC West, Jesus Christ, sorry, staring at this football jersey is messing me up. Yes, that's right. But I'm telling you, massive upside on this team, and that's what I'm picking on.
Colin, respond. You said 6th. I mean, yeah, go.
For me,
Colin.
it's gotta be. I picked 7th, and the reason why is, while FC Dallas had their best season on the road, it was an all right performance on the road. Right, we did really well on the road, best in franchise history. But my little note I put on the Google Doc was we have a huge road stretch. I mean, middle of May, on a Wednesday night is when we start our road stretch, and we don't play another game until mid to late August. And that's with about a month off for the World Cup, month and a half off. So we're playing, 4 or 5 games on the road. You get a month half off for the World Cup, where we might have some players playing in the World Cup, such as maybe Johansson, Musa. Hopefully, if he gets called up like he did this past window. So it's one of those things where not many players are going to be. We're going to be training, of course, but it's one of those things. Those players get that month off. Maybe they lose some match fitness. Hopefully, no injuries happen. Knock on wood, and then we play another 7 to 8 games on the road before coming back home. That's a really big stretch of an away game. So we saw that last year with, oh my lord, with one other team. They barely made playoffs. I forgot who it was, and they were predicted to be top 3, top 4 in the I believe it was in the East last year. I can't remember. I'll have to look after this. It's going to eat at me. But it's one of those things where, for me, I'm giving grace to our team, because one of the things is, while we have depth to rotate, look at the midfield. I mean, we have so many midfielders we can rotate easily. Center backs, I mean, they're playing everybody at center back. They didn't really start knowing that much in preseason. They're starting Ibby a lot. They gave Abubakar a run, and that could be just hide your cards a little bit, don't show your cards too often, and just play that, which is what we did last year too. Before we rolled out our starting lineup, it was a little bit different from preseason games, but not many teams in MLS, even if they have a really good away record, overcome a 10 to 12 game streak of away games. So it's one of those things where if FC Dallas can maintain that, I'm with Jose on where we can finish top 3, top 4. I think this team is not a star-studded roster like a Miami or an LAFC or a Cincinnati, where they have amazing players in each position, that star players, but they have a team that's made up of good, consistent MLS players that know how to play in MLS. They've got their identity already ready to go. They have multiple players that can cover in multiple positions. You got multiple center backs that can play out wide, like Shaq, who's going to play like that right center back, right back hybrid. Kamunga can play that winger, wing back hybrid. Nolan can play DM if for some reason 6 midfielders die in the middle of the season. Like, it's just something you never know what can happen. But I don't see, given FC Dallas a track record of also being in the summer. Granted, they won't be at home for the heat, but they always have a mid-season slump. Granted, except for one season under Pareja, or 2 seasons under Pareja, and even then we had a little bit of a slump the year after. So it's one of those things where returning to the mean, but also remembering history. If it tells us or repeats us, it's going to be that the May to August is going to be a struggle. But once we get back in home in August, hopefully we have enough points from home games at the beginning of the year to make up for those drop points if we have a midseason slump or away form drop in the summer. But that's why I went with 7th. I think we can improve. I don't see us not making playoffs. I think that 7th place spot is like right in that soft spot. Is if my predictions are correct, is where I think we'll end up.
There is a lot of uncertainty with the World Cup this year. I mean, I think the impact it's going to have on the schedules, player health, player load, all those things. It does make for a difficult kind of year, and because of that, FC Dallas improved this offseason. Some other teams improved well. I think Inter Miami, clearly everyone's going they've improved even more after a championship run. The Western Conference, did other teams improve as much? Probably not, but there's still some very good teams. It's going to be interesting to see, how this and a few points can separate you from a 7th place to a 4th place to 3rd place. I think we all sort of agree on that. We're going to keep moving. I mean, there's so much to get to. Next question I asked was if you predict FC Dallas making the playoffs, what round do we bow out? Coov has conference quarterfinals. I put semifinals, so we advance a little bit. Chris put quarterfinals, acknowledging that Musa may get sold at some point and we could be DP-less, but still enough talent to get it done.
I'm a semifinal guy also.
Semifinal, okay. All right. I like, Chris, I like your confidence. I like the sense that, and that's what I kind of feel too. Like, there's a lot of depth. You look at a Seattle has some good depth, and I think even LAFC, Los Angeles Galaxy, that there's potential for those teams, but you miss out on a star or two, and it gets tough in this league to advance. But if you have some depth, you can weather some of that. And a good example of that is Minnesota United FC last year. I mean, I think solid team. Were they household names? No, but yet they were able to persevere against some other teams that lost key talent, right? So FCS kind of fits in that slot. Would you say that, Chris?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think, I made the note about Musa most likely getting sold at some point, potentially being a little pessimistic, but the thing I do really like about this team is I do like the depth we have up front. And obviously you can't replace a Musa, right? He is incredible. He's been our star. But with the chemistry that I've seen develop between a guy like Sarver and Farrington, I think Farrington looks incredible, albeit it was preseason, but he has been really tuned up. And I think Sarver, surprisingly, will kind of make more of a shift in the MLS of being more of a facilitator or even a guy that is looking for that cross into the middle, where he couldn't really do that with MLS Next Pro because he was the guy. There was no big man up front for him, but now he's got Farrington, who you kick the ball in the middle, he's going to go find it. And I think that pairing will get them far enough. But I mean, obviously you have no DP. I don't think you can win in this league, unfortunately. So, but let's hope he doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. All right, next question we asked was what hardware, if any, and I got from Coov, Copa Tejas, and El Capitan. I threw in Tejas, but why not El Capitan? I mean, why not, right? I don't think Houston's better than FC Dallas. Chris, you put Copa Tejas. I mean, I guess the question for any of us is, and Jose, I mean, obviously, Open Cup, we're not participating this year. So Leagues Cup is a possibility. Supporter Shield, an MLS Cup. I mean, I could see a scenario where this team guts out a win to the MLS Cup, and it includes some injuries to Inter Miami. I mean, that kind of scenario, like injuries, and because that happens. I mean, it happens every year, right?
Yeah.
But that's hard to predict. Now, if we go out and get a DP signing in the summer, coming off a hot World Cup, that's a game changer type player that helps alleviate positions. Maybe it's that pure, number 6 DM. Maybe it's a super center back. Maybe it's a number 10. Maybe our ceiling gets changed. I mean, we can't predict this, right? But and we are MLS Cup contenders. But right now, as much as I like this team and the grit in this team, I'm kind of with you all. Like it seems like, hey, we'll keep our cards a little closer to our chest right now. All right, who wins the MLS Supporter Shield for 2026? Coop put Cincy, fine. Enter Miami, although they couldn't win it last year with their schedule congestion and that they had to rotate guys. You just have to rotate guys. And so that probably is going to be, they're probably going to win it. But, I don't know. Chris, you put Inter Miami. This team got better.
I don't know how they did it. I thought they were already really good. And then they go out and sign what's-his-face at 9. I'm just like...
Yeah,
must be nice.
They work the guys want to come to Miami, Dallas is a lot like Miami, right? I mean, it's a good climate.
We should have just gone all in with every Croatian international player we could find and be like, we got Musa over here. He loves it, We got tons of guys,
That's right. Jose, any thoughts on who wins the MLS Supporter Shield?
Yeah, and this is coming out of left field because I didn't mention them as my top Western teams. I'm going to go with Seattle just because I hate those guys and they'll find a way to piss me off this year. So why not do it by winning Supporter Shield?
One of the best coaches in the league.
Sounds like Seattle. Yep.
It sounds like Seattle.
Yeah.
He's always filled that slot. If I went in to see my psychiatrist and it was Schmetzer, and then I saw him on the sidelines, I'd be like, okay, makes sense. Looks like a guy that would be good to talk to, work out your issues.
So there you go. There's your completely out of left field prediction there, Seattle.
All right, but Supporter Shield's different than MLS Cup, that grueling playoff stretch. So Coop went Charlotte. I mean, you said I don't know. Well, why not? It's just a feeling, Coop. Just a feeling.
I mean, I think they're a team that, if you look at their record last year, they didn't draw games. They won or lost them. And that could propel them. That's a good motto to have whenever you're in playoffs. If you're going to go for it, go for it. They didn't lose anybody in the attack or the defense. They lost Petkovic on loan to Seattle, but they can recall at any time. They added Henry Kessler at center back, which I think is a really good Melanda replacement. Kessler's been a really good center back in MLS. we thought we were going to get him with him visiting the Frisco downtown hall, which makes no sense randomly, but maybe he just wanted to come see a real soccer club in a real stadium compared to St. Louis. So who knows? But it's just one of those things where we thought we were going to get him, but Charlotte ended up getting him. So just one of those things that we ended up getting him, and I think Charlotte will be better that way on defensive end as well.
All right. I mean, I can't go against Inter Miami right now. Vancouver had it tied up, and then Inter Miami just did. Messi just did Messi things, and it's just like, what do you do? What do you do against those kinds of passings? And Chris, you put Inter Miami as well. Inter Messi. That's the tongue twister. Yeah. Jose, you want to add something to that? Who's going to win MLS Cup?
It's going to be Inter Miami, of course.
Yeah.
Although, of course, I think we'll all celebrate if they don't.
Yeah, and it might not. This is the reality of Major League Soccer that Messi discovered as well. All right, let's player predictions for FC Dallas for the year. All right, top goal scorer. We have a trifecta here. Coov, who's even if he sold, Musa may start the year in such a way that he is our top goal scorer for the year, our golden boot for FC Dallas. I put Petar Musa. Again,
it's a no-brainer.
Chris, yeah. Jose, no-brainer. It's tough. I just love the way Logan has come out in this preseason, and I think it's potential for Logan to have a really special year. And there's a scenario, and we're going to get to this question, where Musa stays, but Logan is the one who's sold. Logan is the one who some team comes in and says, he's cheaper, he's on the rise, let's go spend, get a value for our bucks here. But all right.
The championship teams do want him. They do want him. So I'm just going to go put that out there.
He is hungry.
Well, I'm going to put something worse out there. Worse than championship teams wanting Farrington. And I'll tell you something that has been slept on that really concerns me this season for FC Dallas. And that's something that no one's really talking about. And that is the change to the MLS interleague trades. Now, in the second half of the season, where eventually Miami is down, they got an injury or something, let's say to one of their strikers. There's nothing to stop them from saying, hey, FC Dallas, we'll give you $15 million for Farrington. And FC Dallas can say, no, this guy, okay, we'll give you $20 million. And let me tell you this. The way it's they can go after two players, and it's a cash. That means very aggressive owners with deep pockets can offer a ridiculous, I cannot believe they paid that amount for that player type offer to teams like FC Dallas. And that's my biggest concern. There is a lot of young American talent on this squad. There's nothing to stop a team with deep pockets who has a legit dream of winning MLS Cup and isn't BSing about their seriousness for them to say, name your price. We want X player from your roster because we have no more international spots and we need some American players on our roster to balance this out. That's my concern. And if Farrington leaves before Musa, it will be that. It'll be Farrington playing for your LAFC or Inter Miami or Seattle.
I was just about to make that joke. Imagine Seattle goes out and grabs him.
That's coming. And that's my biggest concern, something that no one's talking about, that other teams in other countries deal with all the time. We're going to get a taste of that in MLS this year. Just a taste. But it's going to be there.
It's a good point. And we have seen Logan rise, and I think his hunger this year to get into double digits goals and the way he's come out in this preseason, the dude is ready. And on one hand, as an FC Dallas fan, it gives me a little bit of relief because if Musa's sold, we can be like, dude, let's re-sign Logan to DP contract, U23, whatever, however it works financially, pay him a lot of money and keep him like he's our guy because he could be our guy, But on the other hand, I could see teams going like, we're not going to overpay for Musa. We're going to overpay for Logan and get a guy who's younger and who's still emerging. It's and you're right, within league. I mean, who knows? And FC Dallas is going to find that hard to say no to, as they should. I
just want to say one thing before we move on. If there are any teams listening to this podcast, Ibiaga is a great striker number 3. If you need to fill a position, we'll take a couple mil for him.
And by the way, I love your podcast. I was listening.
Yes, that's right.
I agree.
And by the way, I love your podcast. And by the way, I love your podcast.
How's that? We love your podcast, sir. Thanks, Coach Cano. Yes, no, I was trying to, so people hear it, they say no. It was garbled conversation, right? No, wait, it was Ibiaga. I'm sorry. Yeah, we won. Yeah.
What are we doing? What's the point?
Okay. I have some little audio clips pulled up here. I forget to use them.
That's awesome.
But yes, Ibiaga is just emerging. He is, right. He's a potential designated player. I mean, that's what I'm saying for some of these teams, right?
I mean, I like Ibiaga, but he doesn't stand up to Abubakar, in all honesty.
I forgot about Abubakar.
Yeah, man. Abubakar, 6'8", hair extensions not included.
Yeah, we've got some talent. We've got some unscouted talent on this squad. Barcelona is struggling right now. I mean, Abubakar would really solidify their situation. Just give us 10 million and be fine. We'll go with it. All right, let's keep it rolling. All right, Defender of the Year. Speaking of defenders, and in our Google Doc, Coov, you got Osaze. I've got Osaze. Chris, you've got Osaze. I mean, we love this guy because of his attitude and what he did this year. His preseason, according to the FC Dallas agenda guys, has not been as sharp maybe as last year. But there's time for him to round into form. I would love to slot in another defender here. Shaq Moore, I think, could have a good year. I think Nolan could have a good year. And nothing against Ibiaga and Abubakar. I mean, they could be very solid for this team. And Giovan Jesus, I mean, I think we could see him emerge coming off the injury. It'd be a wonderful story.
I mean, Johansson can technically be considered.
Right, and Johansson. I mean, I almost put his name down. He could be a really.
I feel like that was a cheat code because he's like wing back, winger style player. I feel like that was cheating. Why don't we put Kamungo in there, man? Like Defender of the Year, Kamungo.
Hell, I mean, Sam Sarver. I mean, if we want to. I mean, this is the weird thing. How do you quantify those wing backs? Are they midfielders, or are you quantifying them as defenders first? I mean, that's a tricky thing about this formation right now.
Yeah, if you include them, I would say Johansson. Johansson would then be defensive year. If you don't include them, then Rogida, no doubt about it.
Yep.
Good. I like that. I mean, I hesitated about him too. I just don't. It's gonna be interesting to see like kind of his role as things unfold. All right, sorry, clock is ticking. All right, breakout star of the year. I kind of put this as a young player or a new signing, a new name. Coov, you put Nolan Norris, and I think that's a strong case. We're all hoping and pulling that this is the year of Nolan. I think Sam Sarver is going to emerge as a lockdown starter at the right wing back position. I mean, he's going to face fierce competition. He's going to start off the bench for part of the season, but we know what Sam is just a difference maker. Even if he doesn't fit the profile, that some might scout him. Chris, I love that you picked Ricky Luis, this super draft pick who has wowed during super draft. It's not uncommon for an FC Dallas super draft pick to have a good preseason, but this guy has been pretty consistent and slotting in at that left wing back position, which is in contention. I mean, as much as we love Bernie, it's in contention. So credit to you, Chris. Thoughts about Ricky so far this preseason?
No, I think he's been awesome, and I think it really shows that he's spent quite a bit of time with FC Dallas in the preseason, and I feel like all the signs are pointing to him getting some looks at the first team already. And that's, I mean, I feel like that says something when a lot of your previous draft picks have gone to North Texas and started there and then eventually moved up. You know, Ricky Lewis is always just already in the contention for being with that, you know, starting squad. So I think he's awesome. I think the only thing that will be determining whether or not he does make that next step is being a left back or wing back. Sorry. He, you know, obviously has to develop a little bit defensively. So if he does that, I mean, the spot's his. There's just, I mean, come on. It's really, you know.
Good stuff. I mean, we're all really excited about this signing. And I think the way he's impressed, you know, some have predicted. I mean, some have said he could start at left wing back on Saturday, you know, which would be quite a story. I'm not there yet. I just think, you know, why throw him in that way, you know, but if he's hot, if he's feeling it, you can make that case. I mean, Jose, did you have anyone to add to that list?
Yes, I have two players in mind, and it's dependent on the formation. And by that, we all know it's going to be a three-man backline. But it's either we go with the 10 up top or this 10-less formation we've seen in preseason. So if we go with 10 on top, it's going to be Delgado. Picture this as a starter for them last year. He was very inconsistent. You're talking about you flip the coin to see which Delgado you get. This man adds any consistency whatsoever and is your everyday, you know, your every week 10 until we get a DP. You know, which I'm still not certain we're going to get a 10 DP, even though as much as Dallas keeps saying they are. I don't doubt they're working on it. That doesn't mean they'll get their guy. So Delgado, for me, starting as a 10, adding any level of consistency will be a lockdown winner of that.
Okay.
But if FC Dallas goes with the 10-less formation we've seen in preseason, then I will tell you it's Kaique. Kaique, I'm sorry, people, you know, last year like, oh, you pay too much for this guy. This kid basically was Copa Libertadores. I mean, he took his team to the, was it U21 or U23 Copa Libertadores? This guy was basically a stud in that tournament. Got beat out. FC Dallas beat out a bunch of teams to get him, overpaid to get him, by the way. And then all he does is start his first year. And honestly, it wasn't because he was this fabulously skilled player. All he did last year was run around just sheerly on instinct and talent. You could argue that he was lost half the time or wasn't consistent winner, but he was too good to keep off the starting lineup. Now with a year under his belt, or you know, a year, this kid is poised to keep rising because that's what he's doing. There's a reason why we hear rumors that teams in Brazil are asking about him. Because this kid, we have been underselling his potential. Kaique has a crap ton of potential, and the fact that he even started last year for a playoff team, by the way, it's a player that if we have a 10-less formation, he's going to be one of the guys that's going to shine. He's one of the reasons for it.
I love it.
That's what I put too. I think in the doc, I put Kaique possibly if he can start. The only issue, and we can talk about this later because I know we're crunched for time. But my only issue for I didn't go fully all in on Kaique is if we play without a 10, he might play, but I don't see a lineup where we don't have Kappas and Ramiro as center mids because Ramiro's your captain. He's going to start and play most games, and I think Kappas is better than Kaique. So unless we play Kappas up front, or at the 10 spot, which we did a few times in preseason, I don't know if Kaique sees the field that often. I hope he does, but that's why I didn't go full eggs in the basket.
I don't think Ramiro's your every week starter, and that's my honest opinion. Is he's a player who is going to be a massive player off the bench, but if he's starting for us, I think that's an issue. We have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent around him that, frankly, nothing against him. I would be okay with him starting, but in all honesty, I don't think he'll be an every week starter. He will start, but here's the thing: is he won't just start in the midfield. He'll start at one of the wing positions in times of need. I think Ramiro will start at center back if you ask him to. This guy is an amazing leader, and yes, he'll get his starts, but I don't think he's going to be an every week starter.
All right. A lot of uncertainty. All right, we got to keep rolling here, guys. All right, top homegrown player. Coov, myself, Chris, we all went with Michael Collodi. And we thought about Nolan. I mean, we all did think about Nolan to some degree. Could be a huge year for Nolan, and we hope it is. But Michael Collodi getting mentioned by Matt Doyle as a potential one of the best goalkeepers in Major League Soccer. And if he starts this year off on a tear, he could enter World Cup, United States men's national team kind of conversation, which is crazy, but yet possible with just how things are in this crazy. I mean, it would be a pretty wild turn of events, but yet, he could get himself in that conversation, which would be something else. And as a homegrown guy who went to Columbia, did his time in college, and did his time in North Texas, and then has emerged enough so that this team felt like pretty comfortable selling Martin Paz. I mean, it's just quite a turn of events for the guy. I mean, Jose, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think I'm the guy that is overly optimistic, but I think selling Collodi as a potential USMT guy, I think that's a little too much. Simply because even if he is the best goalkeeper in MLS, that size bias and all that, and MLS bias is going to keep him from. He could be the guy that everyone's asking, why isn't he on the USMNT roster? I could see that. I could see people saying, hey, he should get a look. But at the end of the day, he's going to be a guy who people have a lot of strikes against. That has nothing to do with how good of a talent he is and how good of a player he is. He's got a lot of things against him that he has nothing to do with. That has nothing to do with him as a player. Like I said, league bias, size bias, it's all there, and no international experience. That's another big thing. So yeah, in a World Cup year,
homegrown.
Yeah. But I was talking about how you were going.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, but yes, homegrown. I mean, it's another. He's going to be an every game starter unless something goes wrong. So he should be your lockdown best homegrown.
Okay. I know. I mean, yeah, the USMNT team. Who knows? I mean, but.
Yeah. Sorry about that. You missed your team.
No. I mean, and I think it's just the reality that United States men's national team, there are some question marks at goalkeeper, which has been kind of rare in the U.S. men's.
And I'm only saying that because it's a World Cup year. If it wasn't a World Cup year, then yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But because it's a World Cup year, I think whoever's going to be at the World Cup is already seen minutes with the U.S. men's national team.
All right. So next one is a controversial one. Question. Player most likely sold this year. And Coov, you went Kayike or Musa. You mentioned there's some rumblings of Kayike moving back to Brazil in preseason with the stacked midfield we have. Musa too, if he has a strong year, and I agree with you, and he gets in the World Cup squad, his value is only going to increase, and some team is going to say, look, this guy has been steady, and he's been consistent without a lot of talent around him at times, which is a huge green flag for teams, right? And Chris, you agree, Musa too. There's going to be some money trucks rolling up to Frisco to make this happen. I mean, we don't hope it happens. I'd love for Musa to close out his career with FC Dallas, just to be a career guy in Frisco, to become a fixture, but that's not how the world works, right? That's not how the world works. Kaike is an interesting one too. That if the time doesn't work out, like if the minutes don't work out, that he could be, because he's still, I think, is young. He's regarded. He has some upside, and could work in maybe a different system in a way that doesn't. Right, Colin? Is that what your kind of point is?
Yeah, part of my mic, it's going to be cutting in and out while I talk, but it's one of those things where, like, I think kind of like what Jose was saying, like, he needs to start, and I agree. It's one of those things where Kaike, in my opinion, has one of the highest upsides on this whole team. There's a reason where you overpaid for him, like Jose was saying earlier in the show, and I agree with him there, where we need to be playing him. It's just knowing how Quill sees his guys. I know Kaike is regarded but not seen as the starter he was last year. With the addition of Kappas, how they want to play this formation and everything else, I think Kaike will be one of the rotational guys that they play, or someone if they're winning a game and they need to solidify the game on the road, he'll come in and be that solidifying factor. But it's one of those things where, like, Kaike, if he's not playing, I mean, we've seen, Dallas spend good money on a player and then try to give him chance, or try to give him time to development. They don't develop, i.e. Enes Sally is a really good recent memory. Like, they spent good money on him. He didn't do much. I mean, we tried to play him with North Texas. He got, 2 minutes with the first team or whatever in that substitute game. It's just, I don't want that happening with Kaike. I don't think it will, but it is a possibility if we don't start playing him and him getting developed. So it's one of those things where I could see a Brazilian team, or even someone overseas, or like Jose is saying, cash trades. There's a bunch of teams that don't have good DMs, or they have DMs that are really, really old and not really having the legs to play a full 90. What better way for Kaike to learn than under, a team like a sneaky team there, Portland Timbers. They have Diego Chara, who's 35, 36 years old, no DM. They just traded their Ayala, who's supposed to be the next man up DM to Miami. So it's one of those things where they don't really have a DM. They have Paredes, who's kind of turned into an 8 that can play there, but they don't really have a DM behind Chara. And Chara's basically said to media a lot that this might be his last year. So that could be a team that picks him up. I don't know. It's all speculation. That's just, kind of like how my Charlotte pick is, just speculation and guesswork and craziness. But you never know. I mean, Kaike, if he's not playing and he's seen how Dallas has kind of done poorly on some young players with good potential, although they've done a lot more successes than failures, he might jump ship and get out while he can. So I hope not, but he might.
Jose, you want to add your thought of that?
Yeah, completely disagree with Coov, by the way, just so you know. Toss that out there. Dallas spent too much for him.
When do we not agree, bro? We don't agree on anything.
I'm just saying they spent too much to get him. Someone's going to have to. They're going to have a high. They're going to say they know he's wanted, so they're going to demand more. I'll tell you who's the most likely player on this roster to go before anybody else, and it's not because of his play on the field, and that is Ramiro, who is a known commodity in Brazil, well-respected player, known to be a great addition to your locker. Ramiro is, and you would not need to pay a lot of money to get him. He is an affordable, known commodity who I believe Brazilian teams would be willing to get to add to their roster. Ramiro is the one guy that I think any team would be willing to add. And like I said, they wouldn't have to break the bank for him. Look at when we sold Santos. I think we sold him for $1 million. And I would argue Santos was a way better player than Ramirez. And it's the same similar situation. Santos was a known commodity in Brazil. Desperate team goes, hey, I know a guy that can fill that spot. Same thing with Ramiro. Ramiro's a guy that, like I said, known commodity. Yeah. Won't be too expensive.
You mentioned and will
that. Add a lot of things to your team besides a solid player on the field. I will tell you he's the guy most likely to go.
To be really interesting. All right. And those rumors have been out there. It's him as a mix, as a player that teams know they can bring in to solidify. All right. 2 more questions, and then we'll close out. I mean, this has been over an hour show. Appreciate the time, guys. And we'll close out with, of course, opening match day predictions. But first, MLS MVP of the year. Let's keep it tight and short. Coov going with Son Heung-min. I also went Son Heung-min. Chris, you went Messi. All good choices. I mean, Jose, anything you want to differ from there?
We'll make it Messi, so it's 2-on-2.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard, and especially Messi with that squad. And Son Heung-min, I mean, we've all been delighted by his play. So, and you could make a case for Bouanga as well. I mean, Bouanga, there's rumors about him being sold, but
I'll be cheering for Bouanga to be the winner out of the three, but I think it's going to be Messi, and not necessarily because he's better than Song.
Yeah,
just on name, and I mean, don't get me wrong, he'll have the stats to back it, but in a close race, Messi trumps everybody.
All right, and then World Cup. It's a World Cup year. World Cup's happening. I did not win my lottery for tickets here to watch the third match. The USA play whoever they're supposed to play. And I'm kind of thankful because it would have been $700 in my budget that I didn't really plan for. But hey, you got to swing. You got to swing for the fences every once in a while. So who's going to win the World Cup? Coov, unbiased, Spain, but biased, USA. I'm also saying it's the USA's year. I think there's a lot of guys rounding into form. It could be a really special year for the USA. And I'm not even saying that biased. I just think being at home, also with immigration, custom enforcement being such assholes right now. But okay, that's political. There could be some national teams that stay home, and maybe USA will just win by default, which is what it's supposed to. But Chris, you said Spain, but number one in the world, and you're right. It's hard, but it could be a very wide open World Cup. Jose?
It's going to be an American team, and I will put my money on Argentina.
Okay. Argentina. A good mix too. I mean,
it's home field is a huge advantage, and there's some American, and I mean some teams from the Americas that will have massive home crowds here in the United States. And don't forget, some will play in Mexico, some will play in Canada, but I guarantee you that they'll have bigger followings than some of the European squads, and they will be like playing on a home away from home. It will not be a neutral field for some of the American squads, and I think that's going to be huge. And I do expect it, even if I'm wrong about Argentina. If it's not Argentina, it's going to be Brazil. It's going to be somebody from the Americas that walks out as the champ.
Good stuff. All right. Opening season is here. It's Saturday, y'all. We waited. It seemed like it was going to be a long off season, and it's here. So Toronto comes to town. Toronto, certainly a team in the mix, a team resurging, a team trying to figure things out. But a good matchup for FC Dallas should be 3 points on Sunday. Let's do our predictions to close out the show. I'm going to lead off things. I'm going to say a 3-0. I'm going to say a brace from Logan Farrington. I think Logan opens his campaign and makes a statement over his intent on the year. Musa probably grabs a goal as well. 3-0 victory for FC Dallas at home. Coov. Oh, Coov's busy. Let's come back to Coov. Chris.
I'm going to go a little bit more reserved. I'm still going to go 2-0 FC Dallas. I think first game of the season, we seem to be the team that has gelled the most and carry over from where we were last season. I'm going 2-0.
Okay. Jose?
I'm going to go with you and say it's 3-0, although we will all complain that we didn't play well. But it's going to be 3-0, but it's going to be more of a opportunistic 3-0 instead of a. So I think it's going to be a PK, a header, and only really one goal from open. So I think it's going to be a scrappy 3-0 win. It'll be a win, 3-0 win, which should be impressive. But it'll be a win, even though it's a 3-0 win. It's going to be a win where no one's really impressed, because that's just the way it is.
Colin, prediction for Saturday.
My mic's definitely messing up. Hopefully it stops. I'm going to go No, I'm going to go 3-0. Toronto just sucks, I'm going to be honest. They're good defensively. They have no striker. They're not going to score. I'm going to go 3-0. I think Musa gets a brace, and then, you know what? I'm feeling spicy. Bernard Kamungo is going to get some lucky bounce in the box and bang it home. 3-0 win for Toronto for Dallas against Toronto.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's leave it there, guys. We appreciate you. Appreciate the time. Stay an extra long show, getting some previews. We'll kind of parse some of this material out, post it on the site as well. But over the course of the week, thanks so much for joining us tonight. You are a gift. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Catch us, of course, those who are watching at afterburn.soccer on X, wherever you find podcasts. Dallas Till We Die. We'll post the audio. We'll look ahead to what is an exciting season to come. And more in North Texas as well on the way. All right? Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
All right. Oh, lots of content tonight. Appreciate it, guys.